Hey friends, I'm Steph from CheapskateCook.com. Welcome to my kitchen. We're gonna make some breakfast. Okay, here's the scenario. It's a busy morning, you're trying to rush out the door when your 6-year-old, who ate 15 minutes ago, announces, "I'm hungry." I don't know what it is about kids in the morning, but I feel like my kids, before they hit the tween stage, they had to eat like 3 times every single morning. And so my difficulty was trying to find a breakfast that they could eat with food allergies, so they were gluten-free and they were dairy-free, that was high protein, that would stick in their tummies, and that they actually liked. Thankfully now my older boys can fix their own breakfasts, but the little one is still hungry like all morning long. And so we've tried to really focus on getting some protein in him in the morning, but not all mornings are the ones where I can like scramble some eggs. Before we keep going, hit the like and subscribe button if you sometimes struggle with finding good, delicious breakfast. So I like to make this easy egg bake, and it's kind of like a frittata, kind of like a quiche, except easier. And frittatas are usually smothered in vegetables or cheese, and so since we're trying to be dairy-free, then not that. Quiche usually has a crust, and if I'm looking for a simple and quick protein-filled breakfast, I'm probably not going to mess with trying to make a gluten-free crust. We're talking about a very simple, everyday breakfast that you can make that is kid-friendly, that even like as an adult, maybe you don't even need to worry about trying to feed your kids well. Maybe you just need a simple protein-filled breakfast that you can make for yourself. So that's what this is. So the egg bake is really high in protein, and so I will supplement that with some kind of a good starchy carb like home fries or a piece of toast or a sliced fruit. Or, similar to a frittata with an egg bake, you can just throw in whatever you want in there. So if I have leftover baked potatoes or leftover sweet potatoes, then I'll go ahead and stir that in with the egg bake, so that way it's like a one-pan meal. Hey, I have a question for you. What is your favorite breakfast? I'm gonna tell you mine later on in the video. Drop a comment below telling me your favorite breakfast. Why not just make a frittata? It's the same thing, or call it a frittata. So typically with a frittata, then you're going to saute some onion in a pan and some other vegetables or some meat, and then add some cheese and some egg, okay? But we're talking about dairy-free, so no cheese. We're talking about a quick breakfast, so I'm not going to take another step to saute the onion, although I really love a good frittata with onions and vegetables in it. And we're also talking about maybe feeding some selective eaters who, you know, it's good for them to eat vegetables and it's good for them to eat protein, but for me, I know my kids don't really like their eggs and their veggies together. So sometimes I make a frittata because that's just what there is to eat today, and sometimes I don't mix them, and so I'll just make this egg bake, which is really simple and kid-pleasing, and then we'll just eat our vegetables in another way. Always just find what works for you. Take care of your kids, take care of your body, find what works for your family, and just enjoy real food. Really quick tip, if you are getting eggs from a local farmer or from like your friend's backyard chickens or something like that, it's really important to crack the eggs into a little bowl before adding them to the rest of the eggs. And that's because you just never know if you come across a bad egg or one that was fertilized and kind of sat a little too long. So always crack your local, beautiful, delicious eggs into a separate little bowl before putting them in with the rest of the eggs. Sausage is really important to this recipe. So typically an egg bake like this would have shredded cheese or something else fatty and salty to contrast the eggs. So think quiche or frittata. However, when you're dairy-free, you need to look elsewhere. So that's why I make mine with sausage. I like to make this quick, clean sausage from any kind of ground meat. However, you can feel free to use your own favorite sausage or bacon or turkey bacon or anything else that's gonna give it like a nice, like salty, fatty contrast to just the eggs. Because if you're just gonna make this with eggs, you might as well just make like scrambled eggs. Hey, you guys wanna know what my favorite breakfast is? Almost my entire life, I have gone to visit my grandma and she makes this breakfast every single time. Now my kids have been eating it every time they go to grandma's house their whole lives, and it's their favorite breakfast. And we call it Grandma Janny's breakfast sandwiches. There's nothing fancy about this. It's just regular store-bought bread and eggs and bacon, and then she has one of those like old, I mean it's probably from the 80s or 90s, sandwich presses. So it makes these little triangles of perfect, like a little hobo pie, if you've seen those, or like the edges are all crimped together, so it's just toasted and it's filled with eggs and bacon, and it's just amazing. Like if we try to make it ourselves, it's never as good as when Grandma makes it. It's just one of those things where she just gotta like get her fingers on the eggs or something in order for it to taste like the right kind of breakfast sandwich. So whether you were trying to feed a crowd of kids or you're just trying to feed yourself something good in the morning, I hope that you try this dairy-free egg bake. It is easier than a frittata, cleaner than a quiche, and it helps you eat a good breakfast and then move on with your morning. Alright, that's how we make our easy dairy-free egg bake. It's nothing fancy, it's nothing to get super excited about, but it is a very easy way to eat real food and eat some protein in the mornings and kind of make ahead breakfast, and it's dairy-free. So lots of reasons to try this. I hope that you enjoyed seeing like our little homemade sausage kind of bonus recipe thrown in there. I'm Steph from cheapskatecook.com. Thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen, and a special thanks to Kitchen Stewardship for collaborating with us in this video. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more ways to save money and eat healthy. Everyone is still hungry like 3 times a day. So we have to find different ways, but 3 times a day, obviously. I like to serve this dairy-free egg break.